Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we are discussing the latest Rolex Oyster Perpetual Datejust 41. The original model was launched in precious metal in 2016. The model, as you see it here, in steel, launched for 2017, and versions released since 2018 have featured that little Rolex crown between Swiss and made. Now that we're up to speed, reference 126300 in stainless steel is 41 millimeters in diameter. It measures just 11.7 millimeters thick, which is quite accommodating. It is 47.5 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip, and the bracelet, which has pivoted end links, does not extend beyond the lugs, so 47.5 is the total distance across the wrist, and 21 millimeters is the spacing between the lugs. We throw the watch on my wrist. My wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference, and it is much shorter across the wrist than the old Datejust 2 that was made from 2009 to 2015. That watch only came on the Oyster bracelet, not the Jubilee. Jubilee was not offered, and the Oyster bracelet had solid end links, which resulted in a watch that was over 53 millimeters across the wrist. If you couldn't wear that, there's a good chance you can wear this. I can recommend this for wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference, maybe even 13 and a half, and it easily fits underneath a tight sleeve. Today's Jubilee is far more robust than that of yore, as we have center links, you can see, all solid, quite robust. This is known colloquially as the Super Jubilee. Removable links are fixed by screws, and we have plenty of them on both sides. One of the things it actually does better than the Oyster Sports bracelet is vent the wrist because of the many gaps between the links. We have a thick gauge steel clasp that's fully finished inside. You can see it's nicely polished. There's a beak and a hook, and then a spring-loaded latching lever system, so you actually have to unlatch it to open it. It's articulated and locking, so you can't simply pry it open. I can't just pull it and open it. I need to unlock it first. It's a very smart system. Externally, the clasp is polished and satinated. We have the EasyLink tool-free 5mm adjustment. Snap in, snap out to fine-tune on the fly. And then there are some divots drilled inside the clasp, 3 of them to be precise, and you can use your strap tool to change the anchoring point of the bracelet and the clasp. So 3 ways to fine-tune the fit. The case is elegant and graceful, tapered, all polished, compound curved. We have a conical bezel that has a very short angular lip on its edge. We have a screw-down twin-lock crown, 100 meters of water resistance. Rolex has its own foundry. It makes its own steel. It makes its cases, its clasps, and its bracelets out of that 904L stainless steel. You can see there's a nice little taper to the bracelet right here. And this steel is more resistant than 316 would be to corrosion. So 316L steel is standard in the watch industry. Rolex uses 904L, which has a higher nickel content. You don't need to rinse it after exposure to salt. Sapphire crystal, Cyclops eye magnifier, sunburst blue metallic dial, white gold indices, crown, and hands. And the watch is well loomed using Rolex's own Chromolite blue lume. That's right, Rolex makes its own lume. The watch features hacking seconds and a quick set date. You can see a screw-down Oyster case back. The watch has caliber 3235 internally, which is a bidirectional automatic winder with a 70-hour power reserve. It beats away at 4 beats per second, pivots on 31 joules. It's got the hacking seconds, the quick set date, the chronometer certification too. But the certification first is of the bare movement through the COSC. Rolex then tests the fully cased up watch, not the bare movement, the fully cased up watch in 6 positions, not the COSC's 5, and Rolex assures that the watch will run no worse than -2 + 2 seconds per 24 hours as delivered from the factory. The timepiece is shock resistant. It trades the old caliber 3135's winding rotor jeweled staff pivot for a new rotor bearing, which is more shock tolerant, and it has a full balance bridge and a free sprung balance to make it still more shock tolerant. That hairspring on the balance is a blue oxidized niobium zirconium alloy Rolex calls Parachrome Blue that is highly anti-magnetic, and the hairspring is hand-formed as a Breguet overcoil to center the mass of the hairspring and allow the watch to keep even, consistent time in any physical position on your wrist or on your dresser at night. It uses Rolex's chronergy escapement, which is formed by LIGA means, which is a sort of galvanic lithography, It's additive, not reductive. And so this is effectively Rolex's answer, Chronergy, to Omega's coaxial, and they both work very, very well. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of this Rolex Datejust 41 in stainless steel.